my name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. There is fire on the mountain when it comes to the Victor Gyökeres deal. Sporting CP are refusing to sell the player at 70 million euros that they actually promised him last summer. We're going to be talking about that story. Could this be the reason as to why Arsenal are reluctant to bid for Victor Gyökeres? Good player, fantastic player, but the price is being quoted to be above 80 million euros. We shall also be talking about Galatasaray winning the race to sign Leroy Sané and why Arsenal did offer Leroy Sané the contract, the package that he actually wanted. We'll talk about Nico Williams. Bayern are progressing well in talks to sign Nico Williams. The player has signaled that he will be willing to move to Bayern and German this summer, according to Florian Plettenberg. And then Arsenal have contacted Jura Hato and Margehi for a new centre-back position as well. Let's explain the drama going on in the Arsenal transfer window. We are talking the likes of Zubimendi, that's drama. Gyokerez, that is drama. We're also talking the likes of Dean Huijsen, that was drama as well. Why is there a lot of drama this window, in a window where Arsenal have got to be very serious, in a window where I can't lie to you, I'm nervous and I'm so expectant for Arsenal to do something? Why is there a lot of drama? I will explain all that and more in the comment box below. But let's start off with that big story from Fabrizio Romano that there is fire on the mountain when it comes to Victor Gyökeres and Sporting Lisbon, and this could actually give us a very good advantage, or any club that is interested in Victor Gyökeres. This could give us a very good advantage. So what is going on? What is going on is that Sporting Lisbon promised Victor Gyökeres last summer that they will sell him for a price way below 100 million euros. Now, his release clause as the player is 100 million euros. That is the contract release clause. If you want to sign him, go and trigger the release clause of the player. It's about 85 million pounds. That is 100 million euros. However, last summer, Victor Gyökeres was desperate to get on the move. He was desperate to move to a bigger club, and Sporting CP promised him that if he stayed, they would actually consider selling him for 60 million euros plus a few add-ons, raising the deal to 70 million euros. And that would necessarily mean that they would accept an overall package of 59 million pounds. Oh, well, that is all and good. That is still very good. However, this summer, Victor Gyökeres has been very expectant of joining a big club. Manchester United are pushing, Chelsea are pushing, Arsenal definitely in talks with the player, and Sporting Lisbon to get a deal done for the player. Now, here is the problem. Between meetings involving Sporting and potential buyers, Sporting CP are saying, we are not accepting 70 million euros. We are accepting anything above 80 million euros. They don't want to sell him for 70 million euros that they initially agreed. They want to sell him for something more. And Victor Gyökeres, according to Romano, is furious, very angry, and he's threatening not to play for Sporting Lisbon again. I want to look at this in the Arsenal perspective and the Arsenal angle. One, I now understand why Arsenal are so reluctant on Victor Gyökeres. Because remember, I told you, he was seen as a market opportunity. And it was a market opportunity for you to score 95 goals in 100 games and then be available for 60 million euros. That was a market opportunity that all of us have never seen before. It was like Barcelona signing Robert Lewandowski on a free. One of the best free deals you'll ever get in your life. Absolutely, right? But when it comes to the situation right now, Arsenal are asking one question. He's no longer a market opportunity, right? So he's not better than Šeško in terms of the overall package. Because we were talking about the overall package of these two players, and we're like, if Gyökeres is going to cost 60 million euros and Šeško is going to cost in excess or more than 80 million euros, why do Arsenal not just go and sign Victor Gyökeres? But now he's no longer cheap. Sporting are refusing to give the player away at 70 million euros. And I think this is why this happened, right? In the summer, this guy was a hot cake, was on fire. He had scored a lot of goals in his first season at Sporting CP. And Sporting said, listen, if you stay with us for another year, we are going to reduce the price that clubs have to pay to get you, and we are going to facilitate you to go to a bigger club. I think Sporting were thinking Victor Gyökeres didn't have the ability to replicate the numbers he actually put forward in the 23-24 campaign. Guess what? He has put even better numbers on the table in the 24-25 campaign. And Sporting have already shot themselves in the foot. They've already put a bullet in their own feet, and now they're stuck with the pain. You have told the player he can go for 70 million euros. But then this is Europe's top scorer, right? One of Europe's top scorer, I think alongside Kylian Mbappe, isn't it? Yeah, alongside Kylian Mbappe. So Sporting want to go back on their word. I've actually seen the interview of the Sporting president, and he was saying, we have never agreed to sell Gyokerez for 70 million euros, and it's not going to happen, and it's not going to move for 80 million euros. Well, that explains why a couple of clubs are looking at Hugo Ekitike and Benjamin Sesko, because at 27 years, soon turning to 28, maybe clubs feel it's a big risk to invest 80 million euros, if not 90 million euros, in Victor Gyökeres, when there is a Sesko, when there is a Hugo Ekitike that are still 22, 23, 24 years of age and can give you, a long-term guarantee. Their ceilings are high, they can give you long-term guarantee, and they can also be win-now players. Now, there is also a story coming out of Portugal that he was asking for 300,000 per week. I want to say this, and I don't know whether Arsenal are really on point with this, but if this is a summer, like Mikel Arteta defined, a summer that is a win-now summer, a summer that is going to need to attract top players, a summer where we have to get the best on the market, a summer where we've got to be the best on the market, we are going to have to pay decent, if not very good wages. If you want Rodrigo, if you want Gyokerez, and you look at their numbers, and you look at their status, and you look at what they bring to this Arsenal side, you're going to have to pay good money, if not better salaries than anyone else there. And we'll talk about Bayern wanting Nico Williams, and I'm going to explain this very well, because Williams is one of the players that are well paid at Atletico Bilbao right now, earning between 160 and 170,000. And Atletico Bilbao want to give him a new contract where he will be guaranteed 8.5 million euros net per year. Guaranteed. That tells you that if you're going to lure such a player, you're going to have to either pay well or even better than what what Atletico Bilbao are actually offering. So the Victor Gyökeres story, where does this end? Where do we go from here? One, I think Arsenal should focus on Benjamin Sesko now. Because if it is the same price, right? If it's the same price, 80 million euros or 90 million euros, Gyokeres is no longer a market opportunity. He's 27, 28. He's becoming a bit of a risk. It's not far away in terms of age between him and Watkins. So let us not focus on Sesko. Let's build Sesko and let's build him into the striker that we actually want to have. Gyokerez to Manchester United, and is he frustrating not to play? Yes, he's frustrating. He's threatening not to play because he's frustrated. But come next season, he'll definitely have an agreement with Sporting, and he will play football for them. Will he go to Manchester United? I don't think United are going to pay 90 million euros or 80 million euros for him. And even if they did, the wages, I don't think United are going anywhere close to 300,000 per week. But let's wait and see how that is going to be unfolding. I'll keep you posted. At the moment, I have just explained the agreement he has with Sporting, and I've told you why they are not selling at the moment. Okay, Galatasaray have taken Leroy Sané away from Arsenal. He's a player that wanted to play for Arsenal, but the problem with free agents were always going to come with personal terms, right? Personal terms were always going to be a problem. Now, he wants to play in the UEFA Champions League. Fenerbahce had given him a very good offer. Arsenal had given him quite an okay offer, but according to my information, Arsenal had offered the lowest offer of Bayern, Galatasaray, and Fenerbahce. And again, I told you at the beginning of this video, I want to explain the drama going on at Arsenal. And I think one of the causes of this drama is I think Arsenal are really trying to be perfect, and perfectionism is a killer of starting, right? You can see that our summer has not yet kick-started really well. And I think it's about perfectionism. I think Arsenal are trying to get the right players, right profiles, but also the right deals. For me, Leroy Sané was the right deal. He was the right player. Well, I don't know whether financially it made sense, but after Galatasaray and Fenerbahce offering a lot of money, I understand why Arsenal walked away and didn't sign Leroy Sané. But he would have been a very good backup for Saka. He would have been a very good backup for Odegaard, kind of that number 10 role. I don't know, as he gets older, is he going to settle into that kind of number 8 position like Pirlo, Julian Brandt and the others? Possibly not. But this is a deal Arsenal missed out on. And when I saw him going to Galatasaray, they've given him a 3-year deal. He's 29. I was like, maybe Arsenal never really wanted to do this. You look at our pulling back and forth with Thomas Partey, and explains why a player the age of Watkins and Leroy Sané, it was always going to be very, very difficult for them to find agreements with Arsenal. But there is a player Arsenal are willing to find an agreement on, but that player is now in talks with Bayern Munich to sign for them in a long-term deal. That player is Williams Nico. So Junior Williams Nico, or Nico Williams Jr., has actually given the green light to Bayern to sign him this summer. He has signaled that he will be willing to move to Bayern this summer, and Bayern are working on a deal. That's according to Sky Sports German Florian Plattenberg reporting. He said Bayern wanted Bakola as their number 1 option. And you know, at times I really envy clubs like Bayern. I really envy clubs like Man City. They are so big. They know what to do, and they know what to do it. Like, what to do, when to do it, why to do it, how to do it. They are so perfect in all those angles. When you think about Arsenal, I don't think we even have a clear target. Okay, David Ornstein has said that Nico Williams is a high on the list and pecking order, and so is Rodrigo. But look at Bayern, man. Look at Manchester City. Look at the proper clubs, Liverpool. They have made moves, and I'm not saying Arsenal announce signings. Make moves, please make moves, right? Nico Williams going to Bayern, it is going to shatter Mikel Arteta. It is going to destroy Mikel Arteta, because Mikel is one manager that really loves, understands Nico Williams. He loves him. He understands. I looked at Nico Williams against Portugal, and in my head, everything just played out. How Mikel Arteta wants to use Nico Williams, because Portugal played in a low block, and every single time and every single now and then, what Spain were doing, we're just playing that ball in over the wall into space, and Nico Williams, within a flash, he's onto it. And Lamine Yamal is following, and Pedri is following, and who was also playing in that midfield that day? We had Fabian Ruiz as well, was following as well. So I know how Mikel Arteta wants to use Nico Williams, but the problem is with the wages. But like I have said, clubs like Bayern know top talent command top money. If you want to get top talent, you're going to have to part with top money in terms of wages, in terms of the salary, in terms of the transfer fee, bonuses, and all that. Well, Arsenal have now talked to Jero Hato and Mark Gehi about a potential move to the Emirates, a centre-back who is, two centre-backs that are quite very, very interesting. And I'll talk about Mark Gehi. But Arsenal, what a centre-back, according to The Athletic, and Gehi and Hato have both contacted. Well, why are we having drama in this window? We are having drama in this window because of 5 reasons, and I want to put them forward. I'm not going to explain them, but I want you to know that this summer is so important to Arsenal. It might take some time for us to get all the deals that we want. We're getting a lot of drama because Arsenal are having a sporting director that is talking to numerous targets. So therefore, you're going to have news from Sané, news from Gordon, news from Rodrigo, news from Watkins. That is what he's doing. He's talking to as many options before deciding. That's why you're hearing a lot of drama. Number two, the Zubimendi deal is weird. And that in itself is drama. It's weird because you sign a player, he has to be announced in June, you sign the guy in January. Okay, it's weird, and Arsenal are always weird in this transfer window, so maybe that explains it. Number three, perfectionism. Like I said, Arsenal trying to perfect their craft. Andrea Bata is trying to get the best players because next season is going to be quite a very big and important season. Number four, why we are having a dramatic window is the Club World Cup. Clubs in the Club World Cup have just raised prices and they have just stolen many of the good players. Tijani Reinders, gone. Ryan Ainori, gone. Ryan Sharkey, gone. Tino Livramento from Newcastle to Manchester City, that will happen. Milos Kerkez, gone. Frimpong, gone. Florent Wirtz, gone. Nidai, explain more. So it tells you what we are going through. But I tell you, this summer is going to be a good one. Settle down. I will, I'll keep you posted, but I can guarantee you Arsenal get the good deals done. I promise.